Every morning you wake up, make a warm glass of water, eat a light breakfast, and as has been your habit for years, you carefully take a few vitamin pills, something you believe will help your body feel healthier, your mind sharper, and your legs steadier. Because who doesn't want to be healthier, live longer, and rely less on others, right? But what if I told you that some seemingly harmless vitamins could silently weaken your legs, causing you to lose balance, experience pain, tremors, and even make you more prone to falls? Would you believe it? It sounds paradoxical, but truly, some vitamins, when used incorrectly, at the wrong dose, or uncontrollably for extended periods, can damage your nervous system, lead to bone density loss, or affect your blood and circulation in your legs. And the worrying thing is, most people don't know. That's because these vitamin pills are often labeled as good for health, energy support, immune boost. No one tells you that if used incorrectly, they can actually harm your legs, the very part of your body that helps you stand, walk, and maintain your freedom every day. So in today's video, we'll dive deep into 4 vitamins you need to pay special attention to, because if used improperly, they could be the silent culprits damaging your legs. And be sure to watch until the end, because the 4th vitamin is often the most misunderstood, but can be more dangerous than you think. Ready? In the next section, we'll get into the main content, starting with the first vitamin that seems harmless. But when overdosed, it could be why you wake up with tingly, weak, and unbalanced legs every morning. Have you ever felt a tingling sensation in the soles of your feet when you first woke up? A feeling like ants crawling, a slight prickling, or like your foot has fallen asleep? If so, this isn't just a sign of old age. It might be a gentle warning from your body about something you're ingesting daily without realizing it. Vitamin B6. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, is a water-soluble vitamin that plays a crucial role in many bodily functions. It helps produce red blood cells, supports brain activity, metabolizes protein, and especially maintains a healthy nervous system. Sounds great, right? In fact, it is, when you take the right dose. But problems begin to arise when this vitamin is consumed in excessive doses for prolonged periods, often through supplements or fortified foods. And here's the most concerning part. High-dose vitamin B6 can damage peripheral nerves, specifically the nerves that control sensation and movement in your feet and lower legs, leading to very uncomfortable symptoms like numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, and gait imbalance. Imagine a typical morning. Mrs. Susan, 68, wakes up early for a walk, but as she puts her feet on the floor, she feels like her heels are standing on cold stone, with numbness spreading up to her calves. Over a few weeks, the condition worsens. She visits the doctor and finds all her vitals are normal until the doctor asks, "Are you taking any supplements containing vitamin B6? "Yes, I take 200 milligrams daily. They said it's good for nerves." 200 milligrams, double the maximum recommended dose. And the conclusion, Mrs. Susan had peripheral nerve damage due to vitamin B6 overdose, a condition that might not fully recover if not stopped in time. According to the Institute of Medicine, IOM, the safe upper limit for vitamin B6 for adults is 100 milligrams per day. This is a dose that can be maintained long-term without causing toxicity. However, many people use vitamin B6 as a nerve tonic or memory booster at doses up to 200 to 500 milligrams per day. Research from the 1980s noted people taking over 200 milligrams per day continuously for 2 months or more had a high risk of peripheral nerve damage. The most common symptoms: numbness in the feet, muscle weakness, loss of reflexes, and unsteady gait like being drunk. More concerning, peripheral nerves recover very slowly, and if the damage is prolonged, it may not fully recover. Why are the feet often the first place affected when there's a nerve problem? The answer may sound simple, but it's worth considering. The feet are the farthest part of the body from the heart. The nerves running down to the feet are often very long, delicate, and more susceptible to damage than any other area. When these nerves become inflamed, or when their protective sheath, called myelin, wears away, the first place you feel it is the soles of your feet. Many people have described this feeling as a dull discomfort that makes them lose confidence when walking. "I feel like I'm walking on invisible shards of glass. It's not painful enough to scream, but it's very uncomfortable, and it makes me feel unsafe when I move." How does this affect older adults? In their golden years, the ability of nerves to recover significantly declines. A small injury can last for months, sometimes never fully recovering. And when sensation in the feet changes, seemingly minor risks become incredibly serious. Numb feet mean you're more prone to falls. Loss of sensation means you might not realize if your foot is scraped, blistered, or severely bumped. Weak leg muscles make standing up, walking, or maintaining balance difficult. All of this leads to a sad reality. A seemingly harmless vitamin, if used incorrectly, can silently take away your ability to move independently, and that means losing the autonomy and freedom that every older adult cherishes. No one wants to depend on others just because of a misstep. Starting from the soles of their feet. Vitamin B6 supplementation is something many people do every day, especially as they age and concerns about peripheral neuropathy or muscle weakness become more apparent. But how can this supplementation be truly safe and effective without inadvertently harming the very legs you're trying to protect? Fortunately, vitamin B6 doesn't require high doses to be effective. In fact, the average daily requirement for older adults ranges from just 1.5 to 2 milligrams, a small amount that you can easily meet through a simple, well-prepared meal. Imagine a light grilled salmon, a morning bowl of oatmeal sprinkled with a few slices of ripe banana, or a cozy dinner with mashed potatoes and chicken. All of these foods are natural, easily absorbed sources of vitamin B6, and they're also good for your heart and digestive system. That's a gentle, sustainable, and very low-risk way to supplement. However, many people, out of health concerns, choose to take additional supplements without paying close attention to the dosage, and this is where things can get complicated. Although vitamin B6 is a water-soluble vitamin, meaning excess amounts are usually excreted through urine, if taken continuously in high doses, especially over 50 to 100 milligrams per day for a long time, the body may not be able to adapt quickly enough. At that point, instead of protecting the nervous system, B6 starts to disrupt your very own legs. Some older adults have shared that they feel numbness in their toes, like ants crawling under their skin, or a sense of weakness in their feet that makes walking unsteady. These symptoms are sometimes mistaken for old age or diabetes, but in reality, they stem from improper vitamin supplementation. You might be asking, I take a B-complex pill daily, is that okay? The answer is, if your supplement contains low levels of vitamin B6, under 50 milligrams, and you take it as directed, it's usually safe. But it's crucial to check the ingredients carefully because some multivitamin formulations may seem benign but contain 100 milligrams of B6 or more, 50 to 60 times the actual daily requirement. Some also ask, I have diabetes and my doctor told me to take B6 to protect my nerves. Should I be worried? Actually, in certain cases, vitamin B6 can help reduce the risk of nerve damage caused by diabetes, but that doesn't mean everyone should take it, or that you can arbitrarily increase the dose based on intuition. Only a doctor or specialist can determine the appropriate dosage for your specific health condition, and even if prescribed, monitoring sensations in your feet, such as checking sensitivity, muscle strength, or reflexes, is still essential, periodically every few months. So, how can you tell if your body is starting to be affected? Pay attention to early signs like tingling in your toes or the soles of your feet, a slight prickling sensation or feeling like there's a thin cushion, making it hard to feel the floor. If walking becomes unsteady or your legs feel weak despite no pain, it could be a warning sign that your nerves are being affected. And recent high-dose vitamin B6 use might be an unexpected cause. In these cases, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. A peripheral nerve function test, combined with a simple blood test, can help your doctor determine if the amount of B6 in your body is exceeding safe limits. Finally, there's a very important principle when supplementing vitamins, especially for older adults, and that is, sufficiency is always better than excess. A diverse diet, a little attention to product labels, and not taking too many different supplements at once. Sometimes that's the most effective way to keep your legs healthy, your balance stable, and your independent mobility sustained long-term. Because with every steady step you take today, you're giving yourself the opportunity to live a free and healthy life in the years to come. Are you ready to discover the next vitamin? In the next section, we'll delve into a vitamin that sounds harmless, often even used for rejuvenation, but if used incorrectly, it can make your leg bones brittle like a cookie. Stay tuned, because vitamin A will surprise many. When it comes to vitamin A, most people immediately think of vision. Eat carrots for good eyesight, a familiar phrase from childhood that's ingrained in our memories. But has any of us ever wondered, what happens if you take too much vitamin A? And more specifically, how does it affect your legs, the part of your body farthest from your eyes? The answer, unfortunately, is not as gentle as the humble carrot. When it comes to vitamin A, most people immediately think of its wonderful benefits for vision. The familiar saying, "Eat carrots for good eyesight," seems to be deeply ingrained in many people's memories. However, few realize that supplementing with too much vitamin A, especially from pills or animal products like liver, can actually harm your legs. Yes, vitamin A is not just a miracle worker for your eyes. It can also become a hidden enemy that silently makes your bones brittle and your legs more susceptible to injury over time. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin that plays an important role not only in maintaining vision, especially night vision, but also in boosting the immune system, maintaining healthy skin and mucous membranes, and participating in cell growth and regeneration. There are two forms of vitamin A that the body absorbs. Retinol, the active form of vitamin A, abundant in liver, fish oil, and eggs, and beta-carotene, a vitamin A precursor found in orange and dark green vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, and pumpkins. Beta-carotene is converted into retinol by the body as needed, making this plant-based source of vitamin A very safe and rarely leading to excess. Conversely, vitamin A from supplements or animal products can accumulate in the liver if taken in overdose, leading to a higher risk of vitamin A toxicity. So what happens when you supplement with too much vitamin A? Many studies have shown that prolonged high-dose vitamin A use can decrease bone density, increase the risk of osteoporosis, and lead to symptoms of joint pain, especially in weight-bearing areas like the hips, knees, and ankles. The worrying thing is that when bones become brittle, the leg areas, which already bear significant pressure during walking and prolonged standing, become more susceptible to fractures or injuries. A report from Harvard Medical School indicated that older women consuming more than 1,500 micrograms of vitamin A daily had twice the risk of hip fractures compared to those consuming less than 500 micrograms daily. The reason is that vitamin A can disrupt the bone formation process by interfering with the activity of bone-forming cells, while stimulating bone-resorbing cells, causing bone to erode faster than it can regenerate. Older adults are particularly affected because natural bone density loss occurs with age, making leg bones weaker and more prone to fractures. Even a small stumble can lead to a fracture, requiring hospitalization or even joint replacement surgery, severely impacting quality of life. Using cod liver oil is a very common example that many people don't realize. 1 teaspoon of cod liver oil contains about 1,350 micrograms of vitamin A. If you take 2 teaspoons daily, along with a diet containing vitamin A from other foods, you can easily exceed the safe limit of 3,000 micrograms per day recommended by the Institute of Medicine, US. A study in Sweden on women over 65 also showed a significantly increased risk of femoral neck fractures with high doses of vitamin A. Therefore, controlling daily vitamin A intake is crucial, especially for those who regularly take supplements or have a diet rich in vitamin A. You can recognize vitamin A excess through signs like fatigue, dry, cracked skin, bone pain, especially in the legs, brittle nails, or vision problems. However, many people often mistake these symptoms for normal aging and thus ignore them. Taking many supplements without controlling the dosage can worsen the condition unknowingly. So how can you supplement vitamin A safely, ensuring both eye health and strong leg bones? First, clearly distinguish your vitamin A sources. If it's primarily from plant-based foods containing beta-carotene, you can rest assured because your body only converts what it needs. If you're taking pills or cod liver oil, carefully check the content and your total daily vitamin A intake to avoid exceeding the recommended levels. Notably, older adults should limit taking multiple types of supplements simultaneously to prevent vitamin A overdose accumulation. A practical example is beef liver. An approximately 3-ounce serving of beef liver contains nearly 6,000 micrograms of vitamin A, double the daily safe upper limit. If you eat this dish twice a week and also take a multivitamin supplement, the amount of vitamin A accumulated in your body will be very high, increasing the risk of osteoporosis and leg fractures. Conversely, you can confidently eat plenty of vegetables like carrots and sweet potatoes without worrying about vitamin A excess because beta-carotene is very safe. If you're wondering whether to stop supplementing vitamin A, the answer is not necessarily. However, it's crucial to monitor and calculate your total daily vitamin A intake from all sources. If you feel your legs or bones show signs of weakness, pain when standing for long periods, or have fallen due to loss of balance, consider getting a bone density test and adjusting your diet and vitamin supplements accordingly. In summary, vitamin A is an essential vitamin for overall health, especially vision, but it can also silently make your leg bones brittle if used in overdose. Understanding vitamin A sources, controlling dosage, and prioritizing safe food sources will help you protect your leg health, maintain flexibility, and operate independently in old age. If vitamin A can be so surprising, the next vitamin on the list will surprise you even more, as it's often known as a popular anti-aging substance in beauty products, but can also negatively affect blood circulation in the legs. After learning about vitamin A, now let's talk about a vitamin known for its powerful antioxidant capabilities. That's vitamin E. You might have heard many recommendations about using vitamin E for beautiful skin, anti-aging, or improving heart health. However, what few people know is that when vitamin E is used in excessively high doses, especially for prolonged periods, it can cause unexpected negative effects on the health of your legs. Why can an antioxidant be harmful? Vitamin E isn't just one substance. It's a group of fat-soluble compounds that protect cells from free radical damage. It contributes to maintaining healthy skin, boosting the immune system, supporting cardiovascular health, and even improving blood circulation. These benefits at first glance seem truly wonderful, but the problem arises when the body receives too much vitamin E, especially from high-dose supplements. According to official recommendations, adults should only absorb about 15 milligrams of vitamin E per day, equivalent to about 22 international units. This is the level the body needs and can process safely. However, many supplements on the market contain 400 to 1,000 IU per pill, dozens of times the daily requirement. And when a person takes these supplements daily for a long time, the consequences begin to show. What happens when vitamin E exceeds its limit? High-dose vitamin E can inhibit blood clotting, making the blood thinner than usual. This means that small capillaries, especially in the legs, become more vulnerable to injury. Even a slight fall, which is not uncommon for older adults, if it occurs when the blood is thinned by vitamin E, can lead to subcutaneous hemorrhage, hematomas around joints, or, in severe cases, prolonged uncontrolled bleeding, increasing the risk of infection, swelling, pain, and restricted movement. In older adults where soft tissues are already thinner and capillaries are more fragile, this situation becomes even more pronounced. A study published in the journal JAMA in 2005 indicated that high-dose vitamin E supplementation can increase the risk of cerebral hemorrhage, especially in people taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin. This means that even if you think you're protecting your heart with vitamin E, if combined with anticoagulants without careful monitoring, it becomes a recipe for potential adverse events. While not everyone experiences this side effect, for older adults who frequently have circulatory issues and are taking medication for blood pressure or diabetes, vitamin E supplementation must be extremely cautious. So, should you use vitamin E or not? The answer isn't about completely avoiding it or trusting it unconditionally, but about understanding and using it correctly. Vitamin E is indeed essential for the body. It's an important antioxidant that helps protect cells and supports immunity and circulation. But that doesn't mean more is better. Instead of relying on high-dose supplements, the body can perfectly absorb enough vitamin E through simple, natural, safe foods that are easy to incorporate into daily meals. For example, a tablespoon of sunflower oil or virgin olive oil can provide an adequate amount of vitamin E. Adding a small handful of almonds, hazelnuts, or walnuts to a snack, or simply a slice of fresh avocado, a plate of boiled spinach for dinner. All are rich sources of vitamin E that the body easily absorbs. By repeating these small habits daily, you are sustainably nourishing your body without excess, without stressing your liver, and more importantly, without the potential risk of blood thinning or capillary damage in your legs. However, if due to concerns about age or a desire to accelerate results, you are taking high-dose vitamin E pills daily without close monitoring, take some time to listen to your body. A few very subtle signs can sometimes be important reminders. For instance, do you bruise easily without remembering how you got bumped? Does a nosebleed last longer than usual? Do your gums occasionally bleed on their own, even without vigorous brushing? Or does a small scratch take a long time to stop bleeding? If these things start to appear and you are also taking vitamin E supplements, then it's very likely that your body is trying to tell you your blood clotting mechanism is being disrupted. And for older adults, where blood vessels have already thinned and weakened over the years, this situation needs even more attention. It's especially important that if you are taking medication for chronic conditions, any supplementation, including vitamins, needs careful consideration. Vitamin E can interact with medications like aspirin, warfarin, anticoagulants, blood pressure medication, or heart medication. When used together without a doctor's supervision, the risk of internal bleeding, including in the legs, brain, and other vital organs, can significantly increase. And once an adverse event occurs, the consequences will no longer be a simple bruise. So what's the best way to protect your health, especially your legs, when it comes to vitamin E? It's very simple. You just need to remember a few small principles. Prioritize vitamin E from natural foods instead of high-dose pills. If you do use supplements, carefully check the dosage and avoid exceeding 22 international units per day unless specifically directed by a doctor. Combine a nutrient-rich diet with gentle activities like walking, massaging your feet, or elevating your legs when resting to support better circulation. And listen to your body. If unusual bruising, unexplained mild swelling, or prolonged numbness and fatigue appear, don't ignore them. Sometimes it's these seemingly small things that are the key to maintaining flexibility and stability in your legs, helping you walk more comfortably every day, even at an older age. With just a little attentiveness and a few adjustments to your habits, you'll not only reap the benefits of vitamin E, but also avoid silent risks, protecting your body from within, especially your legs, which always need proper care and nurturing. And if you think vitamin E is all you need to be aware of, then wait for the next section. Another familiar vitamin, often called the sunshine vitamin, famous as a companion for bones and joints, vitamin D, also has a lesser-known downside. Let's continue to explore. Vitamin D, a name that's very familiar, right? Just by mentioning it, many people immediately think of strong bones, better calcium absorption, and preventing osteoporosis in old age. In fact, many have made taking vitamin D a daily habit, like a suit of armor, protecting their bones and joints over the years. But there's something few people know. When used incorrectly or in overdose, vitamin D itself can become a double-edged sword, especially for your legs. Try to imagine this. You regularly take vitamin D every day, eat enough calcium, but still feel muscle aches. Your legs feel noticeably weaker, you walk slower, and sometimes even stumble. Perhaps you or a loved one has even fallen, even without any obvious obstacles. What's really going on in the body? The answer lies in hypercalcemia, a common consequence when vitamin D supplementation exceeds what's needed. Vitamin D's job is to help the intestines absorb calcium from food, but when vitamin D levels are too high, calcium not only goes into the bones, but also circulates excessively in the blood. High calcium levels in the blood can disrupt the activity of the muscular and nervous systems. The result is weak muscles, loss of balance, fatigue, and legs that are no longer as steady as before. For older adults, where every step requires smooth coordination between muscles, joints, and a sense of balance, this is a very significant risk because a slip, a fall, can lead to a femoral neck fracture, prolonged hospitalization, or loss of independent mobility. And that's not all. According to warnings from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, when taking over 4,000 IU of vitamin D daily for prolonged periods, which is double the usual recommended dose, the risk of vitamin D toxicity will increase significantly. You might start to notice strange symptoms like nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, unexplained body fatigue, and even heart rhythm disturbances. These signs can be easily overlooked, but they are actually an alarm bell indicating that vitamin D is being abused and your body needs to be adjusted immediately. The special thing is, not everyone needs to take vitamin D every day. Our bodies inherently have the ability to synthesize vitamin D naturally. Just 10 to 15 minutes of gentle sun exposure in the morning is enough. Do you remember the last time you went out to sunbathe? If it's been a while, then perhaps today is a good time to restart that habit. It's gentle, free, and very safe. Just walking in the garden, sitting on the porch in the early sun, when the sunlight is still gentle and not harsh, is enough for your body to absorb vitamin D. This method is so natural that many people overlook it while seeking pills as a shortcut. But sometimes this shortcut leads down the wrong path. So how do you know if you're taking too much vitamin D? The answer isn't based on subjective feeling, but on regular blood test results. Checking your vitamin D and blood calcium levels is very important, especially for older adults. The test results will help your doctor understand your body's condition. From there, they can adjust your supplement dosage if necessary, avoiding both deficiency and excess. If you are taking medication such as diuretics, heart medication, thyroid medication, or have a history of kidney stones, osteoporosis, or hypercalcemia, then vitamin D supplementation requires even more caution. You should absolutely not self-medicate based on hearsay or just because you see others benefiting from it. Each person's body is different, and with age, that difference becomes even more pronounced. Instead of relying on pills, you can prioritize a diverse, calcium-rich, and natural diet. Foods like milk, yogurt, salmon, sardines, egg yolks, and mushrooms not only provide essential nutrients, but also support your skeletal, nervous, and cardiovascular systems. When combined with gentle exercise, like a morning walk, heel raises while brushing your teeth, or yoga exercises specifically for older adults, you are building a strong foundation for your leg health. These things may sound small, but it's these small habits, repeated regularly every day, that truly help the body stay healthy long-term. And if you or a loved one still maintains the habit of taking vitamin D daily without monitoring, then now perhaps is the right time to reconsider. Let vitamin D be a companion to your health, not a silent risk. And if you find this information useful, don't hesitate to share it with your friends or loved ones, especially those who also take vitamin D daily. Just one timely share can help them avoid unnecessary complications. Perhaps by now, you've somewhat realized something. What we believe to be good isn't always safe. The 4 vitamins mentioned in today's video, B6, A, E, and D, are all essential micronutrients for health. However, at age 60 and beyond, as the body begins to change, the way we absorb, metabolize, and react to these nutrients is no longer the same, and the legs, the part of the body already susceptible to damage with age, are even more likely to be affected if these vitamins are supplemented incorrectly. Vitamin B6, seemingly harmless, but when accumulated in excess, can cause nerve damage, leading to numbness, muscle weakness, and loss of sensation in the feet. Vitamin A, if it exceeds the limit, can reduce bone density, causing leg pain and increasing the risk of fractures, especially dangerous for older adults prone to falls. Vitamin E, when used in high doses for prolonged periods, not only thins the blood but can also cause muscle weakness and loss of control when walking. And vitamin D, if overdosed without monitoring, can lead to hypercalcemia, resulting in cramps, muscle stiffness, or loss of balance. Seemingly simple problems that can indirectly cause an elderly person to be bedridden for an extended period. But what's the good news? All the risks mentioned above are entirely preventable. As long as you always check the dosage when supplementing, consult your doctor before long-term use, and listen to your body when strange signs appear, you are already helping to protect your legs. Additionally, maintaining gentle exercise, getting early morning sun exposure, eating a varied diet, and keeping a positive mindset are the best natural vitamin doses for overall health, and for your legs too. You see, taking a lot isn't always good. At this age, the most valuable thing isn't quantity, but balance and sufficiency. Because sometimes what we think is good for health can become a burden if we don't understand and use it correctly. If you found today's content helpful, don't hesitate to click subscribe to join us on our journey to care for senior health smartly and with love. And if you have loved ones, parents, aunts, uncles, or a friend who takes vitamins daily, send this video to them. Because sometimes a small conversation, a gentle share, can be the most precious gift of health.